So we hosted this 100,000 follower plus only call. And there were many strategies being given. A lot of people disagreed with each other. But the one thing that everybody was in agreement of was you gotta build the list. The cash is in the list. So I prepared a masterclass on how to grow the list that I gave actually to my clients. They really liked it. And somebody took this same presentation you're gonna see and got like 140 emails up the day after with just one tweet. So hopefully this will help you grow your list. It's tested and I hope you can use it to grow your own list.
How to grow your email list with Twitter. In the beginning, I'm going to give the masterclass. I'm going to give you everything I have. Then I'm going to show you how to get help. If you wanted to speed this list process up and getting clients and getting leads, I'm going to show you where to get help if you wanted to. And in the end, I'm going to give you the worksheet I'm going to be working through with you today in this class and Q&A. Let's get right into it, guys. Let's start with why. Why is building an email list important and why does this work to actually make money? So let me present to you guys the biggest roast of all time. To me, this was the greatest thing ever. Ed Lattimore and I launched a product called the Templates in 2021. It was this PDF, right? Ed tweeted, "People without merit hate meritocracy." This girl, John Tory socialist, tweeted, "Is that why you retired from boxing after losing one fight?" And then Ed said, "Nah, it's because I have weeks like this now, 79K week." And I orchestrated that launch with him. So Ed Lattimore was kind of the muscle, like literally, look at the guy, right? Look at the guy. And I was kind of the brains behind the operations to just kind of structure everything. I knew what happened behind that 79K. It was a bunch of emails. Like email was the thing that really got us there. So how did this come to be? Ed messaged his homie. If you know Chris Johnson, Wealth Squad, really cool dude. He sent an email to his list promoting our thing. Check out the email he sent. I wrote it and I gave him some like key things to use. And he sent this email. "Hey, JK and Ed dropped a new product. Now, I'm not going to read the email, but look at the sky blue part." I told him, embed this video. He did not. He just put out the link. And then I told him, use this image, the tiny URL, which he did not. He just put the URL. And in the bottom, he did that too. So, right, I gave him the strategy on paper. He messed it up. But this thing made $5,000. It meant a lot. Personally, at the time, it was like, whoa, like really, like it really cemented the power of it. Like if you can mess this up, imagine if you did it right. Even messing that up, we got to 79K. So I'm thinking, okay, there's something here. Like we can really work on. I don't know if you guys saw this, but we hosted a call last month in which only people with more than 100,000 followers were admitted. And the one thing that like popped over and over again was people said, "Bro, it's the list. Like that's where the money is. You need to focus on the list." And I feel like it's because there's two things that really make email great when it comes to monetizing. The first one is expectations. Expectations is huge. So for example, let's say you guys are going to be on a 2-hour flight and two passengers are given 2 tickets. On one ticket, it says this flight is going to take 1 hour. And the other flight says this flight is going to take 3 hours. The guys that got the 1 hour ticket are going to complain because they're like, "Oh my God, we're late." Whereas the guys that got the 3-hour ticket are going to be happy because for them, they're early. See what I mean? So sometimes people can have the same experience, yet experience vastly different feelings around that experience, which is why if you sell on Twitter, it kind of looks off, right? This is why you see people who sell a lot on Twitter, their engagement scores. Because on Twitter, your expectation is you're going to be entertained, right? Maybe some of you guys are watching Twitter right now while I'm giving this thing. You want to be entertained, right? That's your expectation. Whereas on email, it's different. You don't give your email to someone unless you're either funnel hacking them or you want some help, which is why selling is completely fine. When you sell over and over on email, it's cool, but on Twitter, it's not because people expect it. So that expectation makes it so much easier to monetize. And number 2 is probability. And I want to use this space to kind of maybe have this question because it pops often. How often do I promote my offer? And how often do I promote my list? Because it has happened a lot, at least personally. And I feel like the answer to do I promote my offer or my list, it's kind of not a right or wrong. It's about probabilities. So let's say you're on Tinder, right? And let's say the first thing you did is, let's get down to it. Let's get down to business, right? So it's like maybe 1% of people are going to say yes to that. Whereas if you promoted your email and then your offer, it's like you're taking people to coffee, right? And then you're going to be like, let's go. Right? Email is that coffee. So email, personally, to me, it increases the probability of you actually converting a prospect. When it comes to how often should you promote your list and how often should you promote your offer, personally, this is what worked for us. I would promote my email list every time. However, I will DM people every day. How does this work? So if you keep promoting your offer, then you will eventually start losing engagement. right? And eventually it's zero. Whereas if you promote your list, it looks fine, right? Because you can frame it as, hey, you're going to be entertained here, which meets the Twitter expectation. And because your engagement goes up, this is what people never do. One time I had a client tell me, JK, I tweeted this thread and it got no leads. I messed it up. I'm like, what do you mean you messed it up? She's like, it didn't get no leads. I'm like, well, did you go over the likes and the comments and the retweets and you check out who engaged with it and send them a DM? She's like, no. Well, then you can't say it because job's not done yet, right? So I would say promote your list every time. And every time you post, make it a habit, like at night or like in the evenings, just go over everyone who engaged with you and start DMing people who look qualified. Taki Moore calls it invite in public, but sell in private. And I'm a big proponent of this. That's a really smart move. Your email list every time, but you DM every day. What do you give people as an incentive? We're going to answer the question here. Do I do a lead magnet? Do I do just a newsletter? So we're going to answer that question now. And to me, my philosophy for incentives for people to give you their email, it's you go with no lead magnet. So like you tell them there's no lead magnet here. It's just a newsletter. You're going to learn X, Y, and Z. Or you make an exceptionally good lead magnet. To me, the poison here is, and this is kind of the nuance, good lead magnet is not okay. You know what's the worst thing that could happen? It's when people check out your stuff and they're like, I was all right. Because then they put you in that all right category. And that's horrible. That's like really hard to get out of. So for me, it's either no lead magnet or great lead magnet, but never okay, right? Because nobody likes lukewarm coffees. These are cold or warm coffee. So 2 examples. The left one, no lead magnet, is Dan Go. So Dan Go, 100,000 subscribers in his newsletter. Really cool dude, making a ton of cash, by the way. Word for word, the most valuable fitness newsletter on the planet. Build your body and increase performance in 4 minutes or less. No lead magnet, no ebook, no course. It's just newsletter. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have great lead magnet from Alex, as in like this entire book. So for me, it's you got to choose between these two. Like it's the middle that kills you. It's giving people something that's like, okay, that really fucks your business up. So it's no or great. And the reason why this works, it's we go back to the plane analogy, because if you give someone a ticket that says this shit is going to take 2 days, and it turns out it's 2 hours, they're going to be happy. So no lead magnet works because you gave them more value. But if you tell people, hey, this is going to be fast, it better be fast. I have a phrase for that. So remember this phrase, okay? If you're going to promise the world, you better include the moon. Whatever you choose, it's got to have 4 components. 1, the ticket. If you promise nothing, that's a good way to give them something. So like if you said, hey, there's nothing here, and then you send them a lead magnet, that makes sense because you told the ticket's going to be shitty, but then you give them something great, they're going to be happy. So the ticket's got to be there. The ticket analogy is going to be there, which is give more than you said you were going to give. Over deliver. 2, whale bait. I don't know if you guys have seen my whale bait video, but go on YouTube, look up how to attract qualified leads. That whale bait video shows you how to attract people who can actually pay you. Instead of fish, you attract whales. That means I don't want any of you guys to post any lead magnets on 10 books that'll 10x your life or 10 AI tools that feel legal to know about. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's focus on actually making money. So well bait. 3, clear benefit. By the way, what I'm going to say right now is a sin. When you tell people, join my newsletter for more, I don't want to see any of that shit. That is a sin. You know why? Because nobody cares. Nobody cares about your newsletter. It's got to have a clear benefit. I'm going to show you how to get leads and position your offer. Great, that's a clear benefit. I'm going to show you how to get a 6-pack. Great, clear benefit. But no, join my newsletter because that is a sin. That's right, you got it. And the most important one is you guys got to choose. I work with a lot of people every day that their main problem is not that they lack the skills, just like the action. They don't have that dog in them. And it's like everything works, man. There's people making a ton of money selling concrete and people making a ton of money selling software. Right? Like you can do it in many ways. So you got to choose. And here's a little teaser for you guys. I think you guys are going to appreciate this because I really wanted to make this like actually useful for you. I actually put a lot of work into this because I wanted to make it good. When it comes to incentive, you got to check these boxes. Am I giving more than I promised? Yes. It even changes colors. See? Extra mile. Well bait. Yes. Clear benefit. Yes. Right? So all these things have to be in place. And there's like videos on this, right? So you guys can check it out. What is well bait? How do you attract qualified leads? So you can check that out right here. Clear benefit. How can I make it clear and differentiate myself from the competition? There, boom. And you got to choose newsletter or lead magnets. So some people go newsletter. Now, let's keep going. How do you grow the list? And I included a hexagon here and purpose. I included a hexagon because I want you guys to remember there are 6 ways. Now, I lied. On the beginning of this call, I told you it was only going to be 5, but it's actually 6. Why is it 6? Because I made this presentation on Monday and somebody from the program actually said, yo, JK, by the way, there's another one that you haven't thought about. I'm like, really? Which one? He did it that day. he got 140 email subs. I'm like, okay, yeah, you know what? Let me go back to the PowerPoint. Let me change something so I can include it on this one. So that's what you guys are getting. I'm going to go with the ones I feel like are the most powerful, and then we're going to go to the ones that are the least powerful. So personally, I believe that the best one, it's events like this one, right? Hey, I'm hosting a masterclass, right? You can come and join us. This one by Shan. The only person I've met who loves hiring overseas talent more than me is Nick Hubert. We're going to host a free workshop explaining how we host our systems. If you're a business owner, RSVP. See, this is cool. Like, this is really cool. Let me actually show you. Let me show you an event we hosted inside Tweets and Clients. We hosted this thing right here. So we hosted one of the biggest calls in Twitter history. Everyone here got invited to a 100K follower only call. So we got all of these guys in a call. I don't know if you guys recognize a few, but Charles Miller or Dan Go or Jose Rosado, do you guys recognize these guys? And we were like, hey, we need, like, tell us about the things that you guys are doing, right? We'll like hosting this mastermind. And that's an event that gets people excited. That makes people want to join and see what you guys are up to. This one right here as well. Check this out by David Perel. One day workshop. He wrote a thread, right? And he's like, I'm already building this future rite of passage. For the curious, I'm hosting a free workshop. Join below. You guys could also host a guest workshop, right? So take someone from your niche and tell them, hey, let's host a workshop together. And you do it together. Like, this guy got 141 likes on a sign-up tweet. This was crazy. This was really good. He got like thousands of people in this thing. So many ways in events, I feel like is the best way. So I included a few events examples. So events is the main one. Then auto DMs, everybody's familiar with this. So record a video, create a guide, create a Notion. I find that taking a screenshot of what you're going to give them is really good. So don't just say, I created a Notion profile. Screenshot the Notion thing and add it and say how good it is. Make the packaging look really sexy. So auto DMs is a good one. So I included some examples there as well. PDFs, worksheets, compilations, resources, walkthrough videos, case study videos, and another video if you wanted to get more ideas on this. The next one is proof. Nothing beats proof. This is my favorite way to sell, which is just screenshot someone saying positive about you and then use it as marketing material. Teasers, I learned this from George 10, Grammar Hippie. He says, like, check this out. This is a really good tweet. How to copy paste your way to success. That's the topic for today's email. I'll share with you how to copy others without being accused of plagiarism. My whole account and community is based on this. Link to join the list in bio. It's a teaser, right? It makes you look like, oh my God, I want to have this, right? I included a bunch of examples on how you can use teasers as well. This grows the list. So far, we're out of 4. The next one is plugin. So plugin is after a tweet hits a certain amount of likes, just plug it in. What I found personally, it's that if you include a little bit of relatability to the top tweet, it performs better. So let me give you an example. If you tweeted AI tools that feel illegal to know about, right? And then you tweeted that, and at the end of the thread, you said something like, by the way, these are all good to know, but if learn how to implement this, you can join my newsletter and I'll show you. That makes sense. You got to relate it to what's above. It's got to make a smooth transition. Or like Elon Musk just tweeted that Twitter is having a new CEO. I'm going to talk about that in my next newsletter, plus how to best prepare for the change. But you can join this tweet, right? So you plug it in below after a tweet hits a certain amount of likes. You can automate this with a tool like Tweet Hunter, or you can do it yourself. And the last one, this is what Tanner did. So let me actually try to find this tweet. After this class, so this was yesterday, you can see it here. Tanner's got like, JK got me gunning to promote the mail list again. And it certainly didn't disappoint. For you who can make it work, I highly suggest a quiz as a lead magnet. So that was super interesting. He did a quiz, 190 new net new subscribers. So what was the quiz, right? It was this right here. Tanner tweeted, should your style be more rugged, refined, or rakish? Take this quiz to find out. So it's a quiz and you take it and he asked a bunch of questions, which, by the way, is market intel. And then he tells you what you came here for, but he also got leads. You know, it's always like you're trying to experiment. And this is something I love about like running a group coaching program like Tweets and Clients. Somebody called it, I love this term, it's called open source coaching. So if you don't know what open source code is when someone tells you, hey, this is my code, and people can iterate over it. They can make it better, fix bugs, make it cooler, make it faster, and give it back to you, right? So it's kind of like that with Tweets and Clients, which is kind of cool. So it's like, I give them the strategies. Hey, here are 5 ways to grow your list. And then people will take that, iterate over it, send it back saying, by the way, JK, I added a new one. I discovered this thing. I discovered that thing. I hired someone to do it. Here's what I did. The system keeps getting better. Just a side note on why group coaching is like, it's so cool. It's like a really cool thing that you can do. So that's open source coaching. Right off the bat, we got 6. So everybody can see it. I put it right here. There's a good time to screenshot something. We got events, forms, plugins, proof, teasers, and auto DMs. When do you promote your list? How often? Because you don't want to like overdo it. You don't want to underdo it. You want to do it. You got to do it right. So when do you promote your list? I feel like this is a visual by visualized value, by the way. But I feel like as entrepreneurs, just be real, sometimes we have complex problems and we tackle it with complex solutions, where the solutions are actually kind of simple. So let me tell you a story. So I did a pretty heavy cut last year. So like eating very little, there's some days in which I didn't eat and I was like really irritable and like annoying to other people. And I tried all these things, guys. I tried fasting. I tried like biohacking. A bunch of shit. I wanted to try like even semaglutide, which is like an injection, weird shit, right? But nothing worked until one day I was like, you know what? This is such a complex problem. Let me tackle it with a simple solution. What is the simple solution? Eat less than you burn. Simple. Just eat less. So every day, check this out. This is a funny one. So instead of trying to like get the protein in and the calories in and biohacking and steps, every day I will go to bed thinking, today I am less fat than I was yesterday. Period. That's all I'm thinking about. And I'm losing weight, right? It's working. So very important, guys. Like if you have complex problems, you don't need complex solutions. Sometimes simple solutions will do. So right here, we have complex problems. Sometimes like Twitter is a complex problem, building a Twitter business. And sometimes the solution is simple. Like Tom here, he's a client. He said, it's funny the week I follow the checklist the best is the week I book and offer the most, hitting main numbers for offers and calls already in the first days of June. Likes in cash. It's just doing the thing and you do it consistent. And this is what most people don't do because everybody's looking for the trick. Everybody's looking for the biohacking and the skip. But no, you just got to do this. If you're like, okay, I'm going to do one of these at least once a day. I'm going to do a plugin. If not that, I will do a teaser. If not that, maybe I'll bring a homie in and we'll host an event. Because complex problems require simple solutions. And sometimes we forget that, right? Sometimes all you got to do is you got to be less fat than you were yesterday. I wanted to cover email number 0. I want to host another masterclass on how to monetize the list. I wanted to, because one on growth and one on monetization, it was too much to include in one. I wanted to do it in 2. And I feel like, do you send them a confirmation? Do you tell them, here's my offer? Do you try to upsell them? Do you have a funnel? What do you do? And to answer this, I'll tell you a story about my clients. I asked my clients, how long have you been following me before you bought my offer? The answers were 8 months, 12 months, 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Something took 3 years. And I feel like, and this is why I included this picture, it's because the money you make today is a result of the content you posted a year ago. In the first email, you plant the seeds. And I'm going to give you my email template so you guys can use that and see how I'm doing it. Plant the seeds early on, just first chance. You're like, what can you do for me, right? Like you tell them, hey, here's what I do. Here's my offer, right? Whatever. How does this work? How often are you going to email me? Are you never going to email me? How does this work? And the third one is, what do you sell? That way they can like think about it, because in Twitter specifically, and this is why if you guys sometimes stress about lead flow, like, oh man, I'm not getting any leads. That's normal. Because in Twitter, it takes a while. But when it hits, it hits. Nothing happens for the longest time and then you win all at once. But it takes a while. Let me show you how I do my email. This is my email. Subject line. Is this thing on? Welcome plus your 10 models plus 330 bonuses. Welcome, you're part of the Likes and Cash newsletter. Here's the 10 Likes and Cash models you requested plus a small gift. A research experiment that took me 18 months to complete. A mega document in which I analyzed thousands of tweets. 330 pages of tweet inspiration in one PDF. And on top of that, you'll also receive daily emails on how I make money. My goal, make you money. If you ever want to speed the process up, you can work with me here. P.S. Ask me a question. Now, let's go over the technique, because it's important for you to understand like the little nuances. Because if you just copy this, it's not going to fucking work. This is why templates, everybody steals them, but they don't work. Let me explain to you why this works so you can learn the rules and then you can break them. So a few things here. I told them in my newsletter, I'm like, hey, just join for my newsletter. But I'm giving them the 330 pages in one PDF. So right off the bat, I'm giving them like a really cool ticket, right? I told them the ride was going to take long, but then I gave them something new. So right off the bat, I'm challenging expectations. I'm making them better. How does this work? I answer this with daily email, just right off the bat. What can you do for me? I can show you how I sold my company for 7 figures and how you can get more leads and clients from your audience. If you ever want to speed the process up, you can work directly with us here. And this is a link to my VSL, my video sales letter, where you can see my offer and what can I do for you. So that's right there. And you can access it. And it's just like I plant the seeds so that people can start thinking about it. And in the end, I ask people to ask me a question. So that kind of helps build a relationship. It's also really good. Sometimes they'll reply a question that we're like, hey, that's a pretty good marketing asset. Let me turn that question into a video, into a thread. It's a useful way to communicate with your audience. Now, let's recap what we just covered. So why does email work? Because it manages expectations right. Because on Twitter, if you sell, you look like a dick. Whereas an email, if you sell, totally normal, totally cool, it's fine. How often should you promote it? Every day. Like you do the coffee every day. You make people join every day. And you also send DMs every day because that gives you better engagement. It gives you more opportunities to DM people and it gives you more emails. So you can't really lose. You know what I mean? You're like tackling all fronts. What is the incentive for people to give you their email? Either no lead magnet or a valuable lead magnet, but like valuable with the like capital V, right? It's like this huge thing. You either do no lead magnet or great lead magnet, but good lead magnet, you fuck it up, right? It's got to be no or great. How? You use one of the hexagon. Every day you do one thing, right? It's the simple solutions we talked about. When? Every day, right? The checklist. Like every day you make a checklist and you're like, did I do the fucking hexagon today? And if you did, great. You're less fat than you were yesterday. Eventually you're going to make it, right? You're going to get your six pack. And email 0, you plant the seeds right off the bat because people take a long time to make decisions. The money you make in a year from now is a result of the content you posted today. So you might as well just plant the seeds today. Quick technicalities for people who ask, like, do I do it on Card, ClickFunnels, ConvertKit? What do I use? This is my setup. Twitter is free. Card is $19 a year. ClickFunnels is like $97 a month, and ConvertKit is $30 a month plus the size. So the bigger your list is, the more they charge you. Why do I have Card and ConvertKit? Honestly, because I built the pages in both, and it was a pain in the ass to go back and change them. But what I recommend is you really just want to start out. Big fan of just doing it. Like get out of your own way and just do it. Like all you guys that type hexagon, I know who you are because I can see it in the recording, right? So I'm like, hey, you said you were going to do the hexagon. Are you doing the hexagon? So just start with this. Start with the most simple one. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you for your attention. I know that is the most valuable resource we have as humans, attention. And thank you for giving me today. Hopefully you got some return on your investment. Thank you for coming and I'll see you in the next one. And remember, likes and cash.